respect that decision this time.
Sure.
Okay, so to summarize essentially what happened in the last 2 sessions, because of the way that the fights worked out, is we had a negative interaction with Princess Avaleria of New Spectria, and she tried to kind of lay down the law with us on what she expected and wanted, and as we were trying to play ball, Buck decided to kind of take things in his own hands and tell her to go fuck herself and swing on her. And that started a very large fight, and we made rapid work of her and her alone as we focused fire on her. With full disclosure about the fact that everybody else was beating the crap out of us, we just narrowed it down to fighting her and killed her. Her assistant absolutely destroyed us as we were holding on for dear life. As her last living action that we saw, she gave out a large whistle, which then caused her to summon a dragon. A dragon we were familiar with, that we have fought before and subdued, but now, in a very short amount of time, has aged from an adult to an ancient dragon. And he made very light work of the majority of the party, as Seymour, in a rapid moment, was able to save Buck's body, bring him back to life, as Sledge went toe-to-toe with the Undertaker here in gigantic form, holding him off as long as he could.
Giant Gonzalez.
Until he...
Hey, man.
Until Sledge, Desto, and Bobby Joe met their demise. As Seymour got Buck out of the castle, he told him, go find Zane and keep him safe. I'm going to try to do something here, and I'll come find you after. Seymour's able to turn himself and Buck invisible, and they separate ways as Seymour tries to re-infiltrate the castle in an attempt to find the bodies of his companions, while Buck, with single digits of HP, I believe, is limping his way out on a flying broom to find Bobby Joe's pet dragon to keep him safe.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything of major importance?
I think you kind of covered it. We know generally why things popped off. Bleed was killed. Y'all were not happy about that. The way that the princess maybe attempted to position herself did not go over well. And rather than converse, I think tensions were high enough already that some snap decisions were made. So, with that in mind, I think we're actually going to first go to Buck as we pick up. Buck, you've been given a charge.
Yep.
How are you proceeding?
Crying is still a free action, right?
Always.
Okay. Buck is at this point doesn't quite know where he's at because he has been knocked down I think 3 or 4 times in the last fight. Is also his vitality has been sapped from him.
Yes.
For those keeping track at home, over half of my max HP has been taken from me. So Buck is on the broom, but as we've established, Buck is too heavy for the broom, so he can't go very fast.
Okay.
So it's the image from, this is a very niche reference, but in Super Smash Brothers Brawl
Okay.
in the story mode, there's a moment where Olimar's ship is like puttering into the portal. Buck just on this broom is just puttering to the edge of town, hoping that and specifically I am winding my way through as much smoke as I can as a means of
Disguising yourself.
like yeah, hiding myself, doing the best that I can. I am attempting also to use my uh, bugbear skills. Hold on, what is it specifically called? Where is it? Using my sneaky skill
Okay.
to make myself as small as possible on this broom.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, you were left sort of on the drawbridge or in the entranceway of the castle. You take your both hulking and gangly. We'll never understand quite the physiology of this, but you contract your form onto this broom, start flying off through the town. You look around and see pockets of wreckage. It doesn't seem like the entire town or city has been leveled. This is not an extinction type event that happened. This was just a bad day. This was certain people are going to have their lives changed by this. This is not something that changes a culture, at least not in the immediate effect. And you see there's still some pockets of fighting around as well, but the overall combat and the sort of chaos of, oh gosh, what's happening, fight just as a means of self-preservation seems to have subsided. It seems that the situation, the fires are not put out, but they are going down, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And you fly your way out of town. Takes you definitely over 15-20 minutes to get fully to the outskirts where you will land and look for Zane, who I believe you just left in the woods. Am I correct in that?
I speaking to the ghost of Bobby Joe, I think that's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
We told them to hide and stay safe.
Okay.
So I go to the general area where I believe that I believe that he was in, and I will start. Zane, like trying to be quiet, but also like trying to like project my voice as much as I can. That awkward thing where it's like you're trying to be quiet, but also be loud at the same time.
You don't want to be detected by the wrong people, but you do want to be detected by somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. You hear a rustle in some bushes behind you, and then hear as he kind of bounces out behind you and kind of does a like dragon nose to your back and runs it up you in like a sort of playful manner.
He hears just a as like the and then his muzzle is covered in blood as Buck is just like has been run through and is just not looking great.
And he'll pull back and be like, oh god, ew, what? Okay. What happened?
I am okay. Oh god. Oh, I need to sit down.
Where is everybody?
Well, that is why I am here. Okay. Good news and bad news. Which do you want first? Actually, it makes more sense for bad news to go first than good news.
Okay.
Bad news is that no. Well, good news, bad news, good news. Good news. We killed.
Just tell me the
princess.
news.
Being too loud. Good news. We killed Princess. Calling herself queen, I don't know. Royal titles are stupid. Bad news. We killed her. We did not win fight. some of us were taken, and so it is left to me and Seymour, who got out. Sledge, Bobby Joe, and Desto are being held in the castle.
Okay. Brent, this is where a fundamental philosophical difference between you and me is going to come into play. But I am going to have you roll a deception check for your lie by omission.
No, that is absolutely fair. I wasn't going to argue with you on it.
Okay.
It's not even a lie by omission. That's just he's saying that they're captured. They're not captured. They're dead, and they just happen to have possession of the bodies.
Yeah, no, I'm straight up. I'm lying. I am not telling the truth.
All right, yeah.
Lying to the kid.
It's a 14.
Okay. Should have had his stats up. 1 second.
Dragons are charismatic, right?
Well,
No,
the
that would be an
question
insight.
Are they insightful?
Oh.
Specifically blue dragons.
He uses his legendary resistance to overcome the deception.
With a 15 on the die.
Back. That's fair. That's fair.
You left. No.
I-
You wouldn't have left. Are they okay?
And Buck starts to try and
Uh-huh.
no, it's fine. But then just sags. No, they're not. That fight got very intense, and they went down. I was going to go down too, but Seymour believed that Seymour was in the position to get me and not anyone else. I came to get you because we have to go get them.
You will.
The we is like those of us that are still up.
You hear, like, as you're saying this, you can see he's agitated by this information.
Yeah.
He's like panting heavily, and as soon as you have like stopped speaking and stopped explaining the situation and give it a second to see how he's processing, you will see his like claws dig deep into the earth, and he will give a full-throated roar and burn about 20 feet of the surrounding forest. Or lightning will erupt from his mouth, excuse me.
Wait, what was the sound he made?
I
need to hear it for my immersion.
You're dead. You don't have
Did that come through at all, or did my mic just suppress all of it?
It suppressed it, but the noise came through.
Okay.
Yeah.
It made it better.
It was more dinosaur-like.
Excellent.
That's pretty great.
I'm
That's pretty great.
I'm not. Yeah, no, it was great, and I'm not mad at dinosaur noises.
That's how we keep Brent happy. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, he's like full, like nostrils flared, and he's like, "All right, let's go."
Okay. First of all, we don't know where they are. Seymour is doing recon and is going to figure out where they are and how to get them out. What you and I need to do is we have to stay hidden because, and gesturing to the two of us, we are the ones who stand out the most amongst our friends. And quite frankly, and Buck will attempt to like lift his glaive and only gets it. It's that thing where you can't you can only lift your arms like this high. He'll kind of only be able to get it up to his chest, and it's just like I'm not in any kind of position to do anything right this minute. Something the court magician, the second hand, the
Don't you have
whatever
like
the
a
fuck, the vice
potion or
president.
something to like take care of it? So we're just gonna take a nap while they're dead and like.
Well, quite frankly, Zane, and I'm gonna like kind of like I will put my glaive like into the ground and like hold my hands out like in a placating gesture, but also in a look. What are the two of us going to do? We cannot go in there half cocked and just blast our way through. As a party, we knew shit was going down, and between the five of us, we still got our shit kicked in. Quite frankly, the two of us, you are very powerful, and I am very powerful, but I am below half strength now, and you are angry. Neither of those things are going to benefit us right now. What we need to do is we need to wait and figure out how best we can save our friends. Because if we die, then that's it for them. I get it. I do. I want to go. Do you think I wanted to leave? And let them be taken? In all of the times that you have known me, would I do that? And would our friends want us to throw away our lives for no good reason? We have to think logically about this.
Buck, give me a persuasion check.
Because I am using logic and reason, may I use my intelligence modifier as
You
a
may
part of this
not.
persuasion roll? That's not fair.
Good roll, I guess, huh?
DM, what does a 0 get me?
You may not have wanted to leave them there, but you did. And maybe what they need is somebody that will care more about them than their own skin.
If I had have left, would you have known? How would you have known? Zane, I love you and them enough that I will fight you right here so that we can form a plan and get them out. But if you're going to go, you're going to have to go through me. Be mad at me all you want. In fact, I would much rather you be mad at me than anything else right now. But you going and attacking the castle is going to get you killed. And ultimately that won't do anything for them. So if you want to go and you think that's a good idea, go ahead. But think honestly to yourself if that makes the most sense.
You will see something that once you see it happen with Zane, you'll remember the instances of seeing that with dragons that you have fought in the past. But because it was in the heat of combat, that was not a detail that stuck out to you as noteworthy. There was, other stuff going on. But you will see as his body bristles and the scales will sort of vent themselves and like raise in a like rolling pattern towards his head, kind of like the hairs of a cat standing up. He snarls and says, "Get your rest, and then you'll show me where they were." And he will pad off to the other side of this clearing and lay down.
Buck will immediately As his hands are just shaking. Sits down.
Not sure if it's fear or blood loss at that point.
There's lots of things happening. It's adrenaline because his adrenaline spiked again. It's fear. It's blood loss. It is sadness. And so Buck will pull out the decanter of endless water, and just start drinking and then using the salt water to clean out my wounds. And will kind of get in as tight a ball as he can, and will send out 2 prayers.
Okay.
One to his ancestors, first thanking them for his life and the battle that was just fought, but also will ask them. And this is like, it's not so much in words as it is in feelings.
Yep.
And so we'll ask that the ancestors do whatever they can to protect Seymour, and to keep watch over the spirits of his friends.
Okay.
And then the second prayer. Are you there, Gond? It's me, Buck.
Oh,
Listen.
boy.
I don't know how you feel about me. For a long time, I can't say that I cared for you very much. But in conversations I've had recently, I think that maybe you have our best interests at heart. And certainly, I think you have the best interests of Sledge. I don't know. You swore at one point that you can't do anything, like, really to meddle in the affairs of mortals. I still don't get that, but I'm not here to argue about that right now. But if there's anything that you can do to help out Seymour, to help our friends, to give peace to Zane, anything to help those that I care about, if you could do that, that would be great. I know that these things require, these things require the sacrifices to be made, and I would like to do that. So, we'll touch the headband that Sledge just gave me. This was one of the most recent creations from your follower. If I need to give this up, this thing that I have been questing for so long, to help my friends, I will do this. I will not give up my arms, because I need those to protect those that I love. But you may have these if you require it. I don't know how to end these things. Goodbye. Talk to you later. I don't know how to hang up. So, bye.
Buck, please give me 2 religion checks.
Wait. Oh, I'm much better at this now. Okay, the first one is a 19.
Okay.
The second one is a math 17.
Okay.
Ooh.
On a 19, you get the sense that to the best of their ability, the ancestors will watch over your friends. To what level they will intervene, unlikely, but
Sure.
if they die, they will not die alone. And on the 17, You don't hear from Gond, but you get the feeling as though how do I describe this? It's the feeling when you find out the person that you weren't sure if you got along with says like, "Oh no, we're cool." Like, no malice towards you from Gond.
Oh, that's cool.
So, before we jump from your scene, I have one final question for you.
Sure.
Which is, I am sure over the flight, and then certainly after being confronted by Zane, Buck has some of his own thoughts about what went down.
Yeah.
And I, as the DM, would love a little peek into Buck's inner monologue or inner thoughts about what just transpired. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just kind of what's playing in Buck's mind other than just the logistics of what just happened. How does Buck feel about it?
Buck feels completely and wholly responsible for the way that went down. He was the one that initiated combat. He was the one that kept going down, that resources had to be allocated to him to keep him up rather than attacking the enemy. Buck, on a fundamental level, did not hold up his end of the bargain. He spat in someone's eye and then couldn't take a hit.
Yeah.
Buck feels like a coward for running. But in that, still knows that was, in the moment, the right thing to do. But this is the lowest that Buck has ever felt. And now there is no one around who can sympathize or, like, potentially even make him feel better. And also, stupidly, couldn't even convey the news to Zane. So it's his fault that Zane is now feeling the way that he is.
Sure.
So just compounded.
Yep.
And so Buck will get some sleep, but he will be just thinking about just replaying these events over and over and over and over again about what he could have done differently.
Yeah. All right. And we will cut away from Buck, who, as he falls asleep, sees the memory of the first punch being thrown, or first strike being launched into, and sleeps fitfully. Seymour, we are back at the moment that you and Buck are at the gate of the castle. Buck has left on his broom. You invisibly turn and re-enter the castle, backtracking the way that you took to get out in order to find yourself, or attempt to find the rest of your party. Is that correct?
Yes. So I am trying to. I know that the battle just happened, and like we got out, and we know that they're like scrambling inside. So I am trying to use the cover of chaos and commotion to work my way into a spot where I can start hearing about or finding their bodies being carried off somewhere. I know that they're either going to just absolutely dismember and destroy them right there in that room, but that doesn't make sense because you don't want to get a dining room all bloody and gross if you can avoid it. So they're probably going to do something because we are people that have information, that they want, and we have killed their queen, so they will make sure we get justice somehow by their hands. So I know that these bodies are valuable.
Yeah.
So I am a combination of Mission Impossible and the don't be suspicious
Sure.
going through my head at the same time. So it is just working my way through. I am
Yep.
trying to find out which guards are carrying them, if they're going to the dungeon. Since we
Yeah.
know where the dungeons are, we've been there before. When we saw the dragon down there in the dungeon.
The
they
dragon
were
was
holding
not
him?
in the dungeon.
Oh, where was he being held then?
He was being held outside in like a courtyard area.
Oh, okay, I thought he was being held like underground. So got it. So
Unless something in your notes says differently, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one.
I would have to double check. I just thought that for some reason there was a whole like bars thing about it, and like
I mean, he was
him giving the cookie
imprisoned,
through
but
it.
it was like imprisoned outside, and you guys were in that same courtyard area when Buck fed him the cookie.
Got it.
But yeah, you make your way back into the castle, and you approach near the dining room, and you basically get to the hallway outside it and see so much commotion. I mean, almost entirely your energy is spent just avoiding detection and avoiding being stepped on by how many people are milling about in this space. And you will see as your three friends have been or are standing and walking shackled. You can sense a lot of magic in the air. Actually, if you want, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh. Just got a cat that just emerged. Right. Arcana 2 plus 18.
18. Okay. You can see necromantic magic swirling around them that you kind of recognize as the aura of the Revivify spell. You also feel much stronger necromantic magic from inside the dining hall. You will see as sort of everybody begins to file out, in addition to the guards and your friends, there's a pocket of like 4 mages looking deeply spent. This is the type of whatever was just expended, they will spend, if not the next month, the next year recovering from. Your friends have been revivified. They are in the interior of a formation of about 24 to 30 guards as they are marched away from this place. Would you like to go into the dining hall to maybe learn more in there, or are you following your friends?
For a quick scan of the dining hall, do I see Princess Avalaria in there standing?
You see that Princess Avalaria stirs and is working her way towards standing.
Gotcha. So she has been brought back to life as well.
And with that peek into the dining hall as well, you will see the rapidly fading or shrinking form of Ulrich the dragon flying off, as his presence is apparently no longer needed.
Okay, so Ulrich has flown off, Avalaria is getting basically raised back up, and the advisor, I assume, is also probably getting raised as well, right?
Correct.
Seeing that they're being tended to and don't have as much situational awareness as everybody else, I am going to try to follow my party.
Okay. Yeah.
the guards that are taking them away,
Mm-hmm.
are they similar to the guards that we fought, or do they seem more like your average peons?
It seems like there's a mixture. It seems like you've got about 8 of those guys that you fought previously, and then the
Some
rest
elite
of the
guards,
regiment is those peons that you're discussing.
Cool. That's what I wanted to make sure. It's a variety of skill involved. All right. I am going to continue to follow the party to see what they're trying to do with them.
Okay. You will see as they descend multiple staircases, or multiple flights of stairs, rather, going deeper and deeper below the castle. You pass what seems to be some extra bed chambers on one level, perhaps some like hidden libraries and just storage. Definitely past the level that's got like the kitchen, and not the kitchen that's meant for fine dining. This is the kitchen that's like, this is how we feed the hundreds of people that makes this castle work. This is the catering kitchen, or not even the catering kitchen, but like the dining hall or whatever. And eventually work your way deep enough that you are clearly in the prison level, or dungeon level, and they walk down the hallway. You see a giant iron gate opened, and there is magic surrounding that gate.
Can I do another check to see if I can ascertain the type of magic involved?
Go for it. You will also see, and this is a physical note, this is about the point where all the guards are patting down Sledge, Bobby Joe, and Desto, removing their things and putting them in burlap sacks, and also putting anything, they're putting their things, certain things, on like tables to go through like a checkpoint.
Okay. I had a 17.
17. Okay. Let me see what piece of info I give you on that. Oh, come on. Oh, that's why. On a 17, I will give you that this is an abjuration effect sitting on the door, or on the gate.
This may be slightly metagaming, but am I allowed to look up a couple aberration spells? Because I'm like trying to think. I'm like, which ones even fall into that category?
Sure.
Like, just...
Tell you what, I will let you look at that list as I continue to narrate. That's like, we'll play
Perfect.
that as the
Thank
time
you. Yeah.
that you're like cycling through.
I would say that as I'm like getting there and seeing this gate and I see that magical presence, I am racking my brain like, what is on this gate? Like, there's something here that would bother me, or that I wouldn't be able to go in as easily as I was hoping.
Yeah.
Like, there's obviously a big production about why this is a good prison.
Yeah. And as you're looking at the different spells, you will see that the guards will, having stripped Sledge, Bobby Joe, and Desto of their armor, of their weapons, of all of their items, leaving them just loincloth, not stripping them naked, but pretty much down to it. And all of their things will be placed in specifically labeled burlap sacks that will then be placed in locked chests, and one by one, yeah, go for it.
Are those on the inside of that gate, or are they on the outside?
They are also
so
on
all
the
the magical items and all the things that they have in their possession, they all went through the gate.
Wait.
Does that make sense? Like, this is why...
No, those are on the outside, excuse me.
Okay, cool. So those are all in chests that are outside the gates, but, like... Gotcha.
Yep.
And seeing that they would do it that way is at least enough for me to be like, there's something anti-magical going on here.
Mhm.
Like, that much I can go with, and now that I have a few of the spells from that class, like, coming together.
Sure. And they will, one by one, lead your friends deeper into the dungeon, at which point you will lose line of sight on them. They will, like, enter through that gate, turn left down a hallway, and vanish.
Okay.
After the third one has gone, unless you're immediately acting, but I think based on what we talked about, you were trying to figure out the gate.
I am hesitant, and I won't go through the gate.
The third one round the corner. You will wait for a few moments, and you will see some guards exit, and some guards take positions either standing in front of, or there's like a 6-seater table in that area as well that you will see guards grab seats and post up on the outside.
So they went the corner, some came back and are sitting along in the hallway right there.
Yeah, like in the
on
entrance.
The inside of the gate.
On the
like right
outside of the gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next to where those chests and stuff are? Or
correct.
No? Okay. Do these seem to be some of the elite or some of the peons?
These seem to be some of the peons. The elites seem to be the ones that left and went back upstairs. And it looks like the peon crew. So out of the 24, that'd be like the 16 have either stayed in that hallway, perhaps to be guards on the interior of that gate, and now about 8 of them are on the outside of that gate.
I would say that I probably still have a decent amount of time left on my invisibility spell, given that it seems like they probably like just rapidly did all of this. I would like to sit and listen to the guards if they're talking.
Okay.
If anything was said or done for a few minutes while I continue to formulate a plot.
All right. Yeah, you listen into the conversation. There's sort of silence amongst all of them for a few moments before one of them's just like leaning back in the chair. He's got his feet kicked up onto the table. And he's just like, who would have thought? Knights of New Spectria turning on our queen. These are dire days indeed. Yes, well, curious to know if there's some sort of magic afoot. Who knows with all the plunder we took off them. Could be any number of cursed items in there. Maybe. Looked like there was some good shit in there, though. I wonder if she'll notice if anything's gone. Oh, you don't want to do that. Do you think that... Do you think he'll be quicker than normal? No telling with him. No, I imagine if Her Majesty was struck down, then she'll want him to take his time. I hope I'm not on duty that day. And at this point, they'll begin seeing who's in for a game of poker. And set up the dealing.
Perfect. Is it fair to say that I've studied any of these guards and heard them talk for at least a minute or two? Like, if push comes to shove, I've studied enough
could impersonate
to get by.
One of them.
Perfect. So now that I've got a few guards in my mind of like ones they could do, and I assume that like they probably threw some names out there or whatever, just talking casually. So I would have it best either a nickname or like a last name or like, hey, Jeffers, whatever. Like, cool. Like, I don't know much beyond that, just speculation of it. Okay. And you said there's 6 of them?
There's 8 total. There's 6 at the table, and then 2 standing on either side of the gate itself.
On the outside of it?
On the outside. The other 8 are inside the hallway.
Fuck. Mm. They're all relatively peons. That doesn't necessarily mean that would work.
And peon is a relative term, remember?
Yes. I'm picturing this as like, okay, they're not all like, obviously they're all guards in a castle, so they're probably not like your average civilian at 8 or 10 HP or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if, depending on a surprise attack or spell, would be able to do anything to them. And the most I'm getting out of my head right now is probably not.
Okay. I mean, you can
'cause-
continue to wait and see, shift change patterns, if any more information is dropped. Do you think you'll try and regroup with Buck?
So I know that I can't stay in here forever.
Okay.
And given that I am unable to get to them without giving away my position,
Mm-hmm.
I know that me being alive is more important and advantageous and not being captured than anything else right now. So I was just trying to see if it's 5d8 plus 10d8 is 15d8. Is that enough of a sleep spell to take all of them down? And at least walk out with all the gear? And
I love you, Seymour.
I'm trying, but I really, really, really don't know if that would work. What is the half? Or what's the average of 15d8? Jesus Christ.
Average of 15d8 would be 5, 75 HP.
And
What's
that
that
is
for quick
probably
math?
not enough.
That's
really
not
good.
ever going to happen again, but we'll take that today.
Yeah, that is most likely not going to be enough to get all of them to fall asleep. And damage, I won't be able to do anything to that level either. At least damage acts a little differently, but 11d6 damage. Are all of them within range of a fireball? Just hypothetically speaking.
What's the radius on a fireball? 20 feet?
20-foot radius.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that you could get the 6.
But not the other 2.
But not the other 2.
Okay.
So, okay.
So at this point, I now know at least a rough location of where they're at and where their things are.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to expend the rest of my time working my way up the castle, and I'm going to go to Princess Mayori's room.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
And if you need to cut there, you can.
We are definitely going to cut there, but I like it. Interesting. That's not right. Anyway. Yeah, so we will cut there. part of the reason we cut there is as you are working your way up, you will hear footsteps coming down. You get about to the main level again and hear footsteps coming around the corner. You quickly dart up the stairs. Roll me a straight, like just a flat d20. Call odds or evens before you roll.
I am going to call evens.
Okay.
I am going to roll, and the number is a 19.
Okay. So you do not see. You wrap your way around the corner, off to Mayuri's room, missing the fact that the people coming around this corner and descending downward are Princess Avaleria, her advisor, and 4 elite guards. They will walk downstairs. They will get to the prison gate. All the guards stand at attention, of course, when the princess approaches. She'll hand wave them off. You can see, or the camera will show, because none of our characters are in this moment. The princess looks haggard, as does her advisor, but she is seething. As the gate opens, she does her best to compose herself, and she will enter into the prison. We walk past a number of cells, some empty, some not. You hear the wails of prisoners who clearly have been forgotten about. They've been here for so long. And winding down to the end of this hallway, we will get to an open space where 3 prisoners are chained to a wall, not in a cell currently, but in a open room with tables holding various implements. There's a pole at the center as well, and you can see the blood stains on the floor around this single pole at the center of the room. As Sledge, Bobby Joe, and Desto are chained by their wrists and ankles to the wall. The 3 of you have been jumping in and out of consciousness for the past half hour or so. You remember going down, arguably in a blaze of glory, thanks to the dragon. You remember being pushed through the castle by various guards. You remember having your things taken from you, your armor stripped off of you. And for a few moments you had some quiet to think. And I think I'll ask very quickly. We'll go Desto, Bobby Joe, Sledge, in order of who's on my screen. Just some surface level thoughts of as you're popping in and out of consciousness. What's going through your head in the moments before Avaleria gets to this room, in the moments of quote-unquote calm you have for yourself?
I'd say probably quickly I'd try to center myself. Try to kind of look around, see if there's anything I could use to my advantage, kind of look at these chains that we have on the wall, if there's anything I could do to get myself out of it, I guess.
Sure.
You said all of our equipment is taken, which means I don't have my cloak, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Correct.
So at first I think about that, and then I remember that it was taken. And I just think in my head that, if we get the chance and anybody can get out of here, it's going to be Bobby Joe. And if that means that I have to do what I have to do to make sure she gets out, then that's fine. But she's not going to die today, is my thinking in my head. And I'd say I'm also pretty confused. So I'm like, why are we not dead? Why bring us back? And just trying to think about why that would be. I'm assuming it's for some interrogation reasons, but yeah, that's pretty much my thought. My thinking in my head is like, no matter what happens, Bobby Joe's getting out of here.
Yeah. You are able to sort of scan the room, and as I've laid out, there's various implements, some of which you can get a good view of, some of which you can't, but you can sort of surmise that the intent is not to make you feel more comfortable in this room. You kind of look to either side and recognize that you're not of average human or elven height. And so there's the question of, well, wait a second, how do these chains reach down? If they're like bolted to the wall, you look up and see that there's actually sort of some sort of retraction system that these are like feeding through and like holes in the brick.
Okay.
So you can imagine that there's some sort of like, there's more length that is hidden behind this wall. Whether or not that's helpful information, but you have a better understanding of how these chains work. And yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can I, if I have to roll, that's fine.
Yeah.
But can I get more information on the implements? Do I know what they are? Are they like torture tools, I'm assuming, or something of that sort?
Yeah.
That are laid out on this table as an interrogation tactic?
For
like,
sure.
to
You
intimidate
see
us?
different size blades. You see like a symbol of some sort at the end of a poker, maybe. You also see some like potions and scrolls that you're a little less certain of what those could be used for. And I think it's up to Desto of whether or not whether your mind goes to perhaps that is what keeps me conscious long enough for them to continue their work, or perhaps those are implements of their own use.
Okay, and then this pole, is it like a... I know you said there's blood on the floor around it. Is it like a pole that's like sticking straight up? Like
Yeah.
it's a pole for like impalement, I'm assuming?
Not impalement so much. You see like rings on either side, as perhaps that might be where you as an individual would be chained to this pole as part
For the
of
torturing.
torture. Like, yeah.
Okay. And once I look at that stuff, I'm just... my thinking in my head is like, whoever comes in that door, I'm pissing them off so bad to the point where they're going to take me instead of Bobby Joe, because I can handle it, and I know that she can too. But I don't. It's more for me. I don't want to watch that,
Yeah.
and I know that me and Sledge could handle it, and I just want to make sure that whatever happens, I'm going to piss them off more than anyone else.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking in my head that if they have to move me to that pole, maybe there can be a moment where I can make something happen, and being the sneakiest of all of us, I think I probably have the best chance to do something in that moment.
Sure. All right.
And I'm so locked in and focused on what I'm thinking, I'm not even going to think to reiterate this to anybody else.
Yeah. I think there's something about the silence and the foreboding hanging in the air that there's a tension there that feels like maybe you don't want to break it.
Yeah,
not because of
that's
anything
fair.
like magical or whatever, but just like a moment where shit's popped off and you're like, I don't know that I want to be the one that like says the next thing. That's just a lot.
Yeah, it's like that awkward silence where it's like, okay,
Yep.
we all just died.
Uh-huh.
Somebody's gonna have to break the silence, and I don't know if I want it to be me.
Right. So moving to Bobby Joe. Setting things up again, you were shuttled through the castle in out a little bit. I think for you more so out because of your previously established narcolepsy. Don't know that that's been super helpful in this situation. And I think even yours is less taking in your surroundings and more of like a fitful sleep of knowing that you shouldn't be asleep, but you just can't help it, and sort of like what's going on the inside for Bobby Joe.
On the inside, I feel like she's kind of pissed off. Like, fuck, I died.
Yeah.
And also like a little embarrassed and annoyed. And I do remember everything that happened, right? Like I know that we've been brought down here and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the next step is just trying to figure out how the fuck we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then realizing that it's only me, Desto, and Sledge in here. And that we're missing a couple people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something epic, but I'm spacing out.
No,
I
you're
don't know.
totally good. That's what I was looking for. I think Bobby Joe is in that space of looking for, okay, little groggy. Certainly feeling some embarrassment of can't believe that we got punked like that, or that we had her and slipped through our grasp. But
We don't know she's alive, do we?
fair enough. So you maybe take some solace in the fact that, like, well, at least we went down swinging and we took one of yours with us. The most important one. So,
When I found out that we didn't.
yeah. So, but for now, Bobby Joe is like, well, if I went down, at least I took the princess down with me. And now how do I get out of here? And just sort of sizing things up. You don't see anything immediately obvious. And I think fall asleep again. And then Sledge. Same question for you.
Oh.
After being brought back, and having this moment where you arguably, as the narrator's personal bias coming in here, you had quite an epic moment. You were enlarged. You faced off against a dragon. You, I believe, if I remember correctly, struck the killing blow, or at least your lions did. But, like, you were a force in that fight. And then you were knocked down. Perhaps Sledge has a different narrative for himself, but... and now you are in chains, in this dungeon / torture cell, maybe. And what are you thinking as you see the three of you?
Fucking dragons. It's always dragons. How do I beat dragons? I'm 0-2 against them. I'm going to be recalling kind of what happened, piecing it together, realizing I don't know if I would know I died. Maybe you can let me know if I knew that. As far as I know, I just blacked out and came to. I don't know if I actually know I died.
I think there's something about the Revivify spell and the like the residual magic left in your system. Like, you know it was bad.
I feel icky. Ugh. Amateurs. That's not a Revivify spell. I guess I'm gonna assess my situation. I feel like I have enough wisdom and know how to kind of try to assess the situation that we're in right now, put 2 and 2 together.
Mm-hmm.
Fook, They must have taken us prisoner. It's not good. We're probably still in the castle. The first thing I'm going to do is look around. I understand I got iron chains. Is it like a raw iron? Is it magical? I guess I'm going to try to do sacred flame with my fingers. Like, does the chains negate the magic? Does it, anything like that?
Sure. You attempt to conjure a sacred flame in this space. You don't feel anything from the chains, but you do feel the room itself sort of suck that energy away.
It's like a anti-magic or what?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh no.
And if Sledge just is like, shit, then that's also a fine reaction.
Yeah, I am going to try to see something real quick. No, I don't know if I can do anything. So I'm just going to kind of keep taking in my surroundings, I guess. Here's a question for it. Chains, they extend.
Yeah. You see Bobby Joe standing next, so the order in my mind is Desto is the furthest into the room, Bobby Joe is at the center of the three of you, and then Sledge, you are closest to the door that you were brought in. You and Desto have your chains extended further down because you are both shorter than Bobby Joe.
Cool. Can we play with them? Like, do we give it slack? Can we extend it? Can we kind of move around? Not necessarily free, but like, can we bring the chains more down where it kind of gives us slack or no?
You get the feeling as you pull against these chains, kind of like when a seatbelt doesn't fully cooperate with what you want it to do, where you're able to pull it a little bit and then it very quickly catches before you would get to a comfortable place.
Would I know anything of this? And the thing I can think, in Pirates of the Caribbean, where Will is in the jail cell, but he knows how the jail cell is made and knows possible pros and cons of said jail cell. Is there anything like that?
Gosh, what kind of check would that be?
It's pretty far-fetched. I'd go with a D100.
I would. You stay away. He was a blacksmith in the movie as well, so I feel like it kind of.
We'll say, give me an investigation check.
Yay! A D20. So investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Not forging or something. Bullshit.
What kind of check is forging? I don't see that on a skill list.
You wouldn't, because you don't forge. 15.
15. You are not familiar with the exact construction of this cell. Certainly because it is you imagine, not highly advertised dungeon at the base of the Elven Castle. But also, your forging, unless I am misremembering your backstory, has historically not been this type of forging. This is very clearly yeoman's work. This is quantity, not quality. And Sledge has, at least up to this point, and please correct me if I'm misremembering or misstating, Sledge has primarily been focused on the craft, on building the best of a certain thing. So these chains are fine. The hardware and how this seems to be constructed from a masonry perspective seems fine. Nothing extravagant, nothing that shows high levels of craftsmanship. But I think pulling at the chains, you get the sense that they're just, they're attached on the other end. There's more to these chains than you are being given. So they must have some mechanism of releasing them and retracting them, but exactly what that is, you couldn't say for certain.
All right. Then the last thing I will do,
yeah,
is for the sake of my friends, can I, because it is not magic, can I use my second wind feature that will also, due to the purple knight thing, give them HP as well?
Yes. However, I'm going to say the Purple Knight feature and the Purple Knight subclass is one predicated on becoming a knight of a certain area. Ironically, your knighthood might be called into question in this moment, but the concepts of chivalry and the concepts of being a charismatic force for justice are the principles that are inspiring me in this moment. So long-winded answer, or long-winded way of saying, can you tell me what you say to your friends in order to provide them with some sort of, for lack of a word, inspiration to feel slightly healthier in this moment, slightly stronger?
I guess I'll just look
I
at.
guess it's for you as just as much as it is for them.
Okay. I'll just laddies, keep your chin up. We've been in worse spots than this. If God won't protect us, we'll have to protect ourselves, and we're still breathing. So I see that as a win.
Bobby Joe can't keep her head up. She's passed out because she's narcoleptic.
Sure.
I'm just gonna be on the other side and like, Sledge, I'm really trying not to be the negative one here. What worse situations have we been in than
Well,
this?
we were.
And I am gonna laugh a little bit, just like out of just this is horrible that
Gallows
this is
humor,
happening.
for sure. Yeah.
Just could Gon just like drop a magic hammer and break the chains? That would be awesome.
Hey, it could be worse. We could be stuck here having to listen to one of Seymour's long-winded rants about nothing.
You're right. That could be worse. I take back what I said. Just how are we gonna get the fuck out of here?
I don't know. Are you able to do anything to these chains, anything like that? It looks like this place sucks magic more than Seymour sucks fun out of a room. But
Why are you making poor Taz the target?
Where is Seymour?
I don't know.
Do you think they're in another room, or? I hope they're okay.
I hope they're okay too.
I think they made it out.
I think if anyone has a chance to make it out, it would be Seymour. I don't know about Buck. I feel like he's the one that would definitely never leave his friends by themselves. But
Listen,
You're sassy today.
I know that we have our problems with Seymour, and I have had plenty of problems with him. He's gonna come back and get us. We shouldn't rely on that, but he's gonna come back. We have to trust him on this. We've come too far with him not to.
He wouldn't leave us. He doesn't want to admit it. He has too much fun arguing with us.
And then he'll use it against us for the rest of our lives.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't know. I can try. Short of me meditating and just trying to find something, I really don't know what to do here. But
Is it safe to say Bobby Joe is like waking up with the extra HP?
Yeah, for sure. I think you, and hearing the like conversation. All right, so AJ says 3 hit points for each of you, added to the 1 that you had. So you're up to 4.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, between the HP subconsciously being inspired by Sledge And just the silence has been broken. There's conversation happening on either side of you. You wake up for a moment.
Well, at least that bitch is dead. But what now? Why do they have us? What the fuck do they want?
Do we really believe she's dead still?
I don't know.
She looked pretty dead.
We're probably pretty dead. I have good
Feel pretty
notion on
dead.
that. And yeah.
Fair point.
Unfortunately, I think that this was all for nothing.
Well,
I
we
feel
didn't.
like,
We didn't expect a giant dragon to come on in. What a cheat code!
Yeah, that was
feel like-
dirty.
We've given that fucking dragon so many cookies too. No more cookies for him. He's cut off.
We have to understand, though, it's not him. He's being
feel like
controlled.
Bobby Joe-
I was up close to him, and I'm pretty sure it's him.
Think so?
He did not look. I just think to stick with the cookie jokes, I feel like he's a bad cookie. He's not a good one in the batch. He did not. We've dealt with possessed dragons, and when I was up close to him, I did not get the sense that he was not of his own mind and direction.
Tyler.
Jimmy,
Stupid question.
there are no such things.
These chains, do they look like I could, if I used, this is going to be very specific.
Okay.
You probably won't be able to give me a direct answer.
Okay.
Do these chains look like if I were to use my Way of the Ascendant Dragon feature and use my breath attack, that I could possibly melt them or do something to them?
Fascinating. There's always something I didn't account for. Where is that at?
Oh wow! Wait,
So
Jimmy,
it's not on my character sheet, but you had sent it to me
okay.
in the Discord chat before. And I remember I sent it to you and said, this is for my safekeeping so that I have it. So it is in our personal DM on Discord.
Okay. Why did you have that?
You told me that I could get the feature when I was meditating with the dragons.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Good recall.
Recall.
So it also says that I can target with an unarmed strike and change it to a certain type of damage as well.
Sure.
But I believe there's one that says something about a breath attack.
Let's see.
Yeah, Breath of the Dragon. If you take the attack action, you can replace it with exhalation of draconic energy. Choose a damage type: acid, cold, fire. So I'm thinking like acid, maybe. Could I
Okay.
melt the chains with acid?
It does say that you can choose a damage type. So I'll put it this way. You would not be able to turn your head to get the angle needed to get either of your arms or the chains holding either of your wrists back. You could potentially...
So can I tell you my thinking?
Okay.
And tell if you might laugh at me, that's fine.
Sure.
My thinking is, because I'm a little guy,
You are a little guy.
I'm very acrobatic.
Okay.
I want to twist the chains up and kind of like plant my feet on the wall and look up and breathe the acid on the chains that are twisted together.
Unfortunately, you do not have enough slack in these chains
Okay,
to do
that's perfectly reasonable. I that
like
was
the
what I was
thinking.
thinking.
That
in
is
my head.
inventive. I appreciate it. But unfortunately, you do not have the slack. So, what I will say is, as the three of you begin discussing what to do, the pros and cons of your situation, you will hear the door to this room open. And this is where we will take our 5-minute break.
That's perfectly fine.
So,
I feel like we
I-
talked long enough that would happen. So,
yeah.
granted, there's some damage things that could happen with that. So I
There
don't
are.
know if I was quite going to do it,
No.
but just an idea I had.
Yep. And does not rule out the possibility of that happening.
I'm fishing in the dark here,
No,
Tyler.
I
Like
understand.
the popular country hit. Okay.
I understand. All right, I'm gonna go grab another beer, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, guys. If I twisted and fucking flipped up and acid the chains, that
you
would
could try-
be highlight of
you-
this campaign for me.
You could still
For
probably
sure.
do it with your fingers, though, right? Or like your hands, right? Like you're like this and just aim up and then.
I was about to tell him because I thought he was going to say like without doing damage to yourself. I'm like, I will literally do this and fucking acid my hand off. I don't care.
Ooh.
Like,
There we go.
I mean, granted that would be pointless because I'd end up going unconscious. I'm at 4 HP.
I can bring you back. I'll bring you back up.
Yeah,
Not
but it's a magic room, right?
No, yeah. I wasted the second wind. Damn it. I'm gonna see if my racial spell will do it because it's not real. I don't know if it counts as like normal magic because it's racial.
So something to keep in mind too. I do have the dragon wing feature thing for Step of the Wind, so I do get flying speed if we had to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So we could definitely use that. And I have like fucking 90 feet of movement. I don't know. I have 60 feet normally, and I can Step of Wind, get 120, and I can turn that into flying speed.
Ooh, boy.
So, and then if I somehow got my stuff, we could use the dimension door.
Ooh.
And I believe I could take all of us with me.
That'd be dope.
Maybe it's just one. Let me make sure.
Maybe we can overload the magical room. Maybe it has a limit.
You can bring one willing creature. Motherfucker. Fuck Tyler, dude. Did you play Doom yet?
No, I don't have a system for it, man. My computer's not high tech.
I just downloaded it on my Xbox. I haven't played it yet, though.
Let me know how it is. I can't wait. It looks.
I heard it's
really
amazing.
good. I still don't think anything's gonna beat Doom 2016.
Doom 2016 was awesome.
I think that was just the game where I played it. I'm like,
I
oh,
like that they slowed down the combat because I felt like in Doom Eternal, it's too fast paced for me. It's kind of annoying.
Doom Eternal was cool, but yeah, I agree. Like it was like for tryhards. Dude,
Yeah,
2016 was
but they
perfect.
slowed down the combat.
Yep, and it's more brutal and stuff like that. I love the design of Doom guy. He looks fucking sick. And the dragons. I do wish they had more glory kills. I'm kind of mad they got rid of that, but it's still gonna be dope.
I haven't even gotten on a scale, but I think I'm down like 40 pounds now.
No shit, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, dude, I've been
for
fucking
it.
melting weight. I saw Taz in person the other day. He was like, dude, you losing a shitload of weight.
Dude, proud of you.
It's a jujitsu, man. It's
Hell
fucking
yeah.
kicks my ass, dude. But now I'm like, dude, when I think it was when you were talking, I got the worst Charlie horse of all time. I was literally like about to fucking scream out loud. Luckily, my mic was muted. I think that Brent probably saw me because did you see me get that Charlie horse, Brent? Oh my god, dude, bro! When he was talking, I like tucked my feet under my chair, and my right hamstring just like died on me. I like literally kicked my wall. I fucking kicked my leg out so quick. And I was just sitting here like this for like the longest time. I was like, oh my god, stop.
The worst is when like you're in bed. I don't know if you ever got a Charlie horse where you're in. Bro. Oh my god. Like I woke up.
I get the worst cramps, and I eat super clean right now, so I really don't understand like why. I don't know. Like I eat bananas all the time. I need to start like drinking pickle juice and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Because that helps a lot.
You're just getting older, man. Cramps are gonna happen.
Yeah, 31 now, man. Dude, Tyler, I got the worst Charlie horse of all time when you were talking to AJ earlier.
Really?
I was literally like sitting like this with my fucking legs straight out. It's like, please, God, stop.
I am sorry.
But yeah, I was telling AJ, dude, I went to tuck my feet like under my chair while I was sitting here, and my right hamstring just like said, "Nope, you're done."
You gotta drink more water, bro.
Dude, I drink so much water. I really do. I'm not one of those people that say that. And I don't. No. I drink water all day. I've probably drinking well over a gallon of water today.
Maybe bananas.
I eat bananas, but I didn't eat any today. Yeah. So
I don't know.
Like, no bananas today. You're done. You're done, buddy.
Oh man, how are we feeling, gang?
Discouraged.
Okay.
Not great, Bob.
Yeah.
Like a 39 out of 63.
Okay.
You said you saw Thunderbolts, Brent?
Yes, I did.
That movie was great, man. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a nice return to form for Marvel.
Yeah.
And I would argue
very good.
Better than the Suicide Squad.
I think I agree with that. Yeah.
Suicide Squad, and I think they actually did it better.
Dang.
To certain degrees, yes.
I will say that if you're going in expecting like a Marvel like punch up fest,
you're talking about the James Gunn Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that movie didn't get enough recognition though. I thought that movie was fantastic. I really love that movie.
I think that Thunderbolts is a better character study than Suicide Squad
I would agree with that. There's definitely all the characters as a whole are better.
But I will say that Suicide Squad has better action sequences because there weren't a bunch of standout action sequences. Although Florence Pugh's stunt at the beginning of the movie is one of the best that I've ever seen because she legitimately jumped off of the world's second tallest building.
Yeah, dude,
like in real life.
She's awesome.
She's great. She's great. I love her.
I think I have
also mid at best, but continue.
Crush.
Wow, you are wrong,
man.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Whoa, I was about to say
that is an AJ level take. I know that was bad.
I actually would. I have not really a hot take, but just my opinion. I think that she's probably the best character of Phase 5 of all the new characters they've introduced. Yeah, like she is probably the best character of all the ones.
Like I want to like. There's that part of me that just wants to argue for the sake of arguing. I can't.
I really like Shang-Chi though. I think
Yeah.
I thought that movie was awesome.
And
Dude,
the fact,
I love John Walker, dude. I love John Walker.
really,
He's
I've
so
really
funny.
come around. I've come
He's such
around
a
on him.
dick. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I love what an asshole he is. My favorite part in that movie, and this isn't spoiling anything, like one of my favorite lines he said was the one with the timer, Brett.
Mhm.
How do we know that's what it's for? What if it's when they're picking me up?
That entire underground sequence with him is just incredible.
Yeah, and just like the interactions with him and Bucky are just top notch, man.
Yeah.
Like top notch, dude.
Pretty good.
I like how they they dialed Bucky back, but they also made him look strong again.
Mhm.
They needed
was-
to, because he looked so weak in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He was a threat, but he wasn't like. I think that they kind of they put him at like status quo where he should be. He is a threat and he is dangerous, but he is not like Thor level.
That scene when he came, like the action scene with him.
Yeah.
That I felt like I was watching Winter Soldier again. I was
Mhm.
like, dude, this is awesome. But
I
man,
agree.
what a great movie. And my expectations were not that high. So that's always nice when you go see a movie like that and you're not expecting it to be that good and
Mhm.
it's really good. It's like nice.
If only our current situations in this D&D game would be the same way, where it looks hopeless, but we have a plan.
Sure.
So, DM,
Yeah. So we will jump back
how are
in.
we going to fix this for us?
Well, we'll see. So, we return to, actually, I forgot. Let's do. Yeah, I think we'll return to the three of y'all, Desto, Bobby Joe, and Sledge, as the door swings open, and in walks Avaleria, the advisor, and 4 guards.
That bitch.
She will stride to the center of the room, with the rest of them flanking her. Get about, 2 feet in front of you. Well, we're still proud of our decisions.
I feel like Bobby Joe's just gonna start laughing because, like, what the fuck is life? Like, just kill me, man.
I'm not gonna
like-
kill you.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud.
What do you want?
Right now, I want you to feel the consequences of striking against a monarch.
A dictator.
Say that, damn it.
And emphasis on the dick.
Yeah, what he said.
You say that as though my subjects don't follow me, as they will not.
They follow a
Agree.
lie.
Do they?
Yes.
And so what truth would you tell them? That the kingdom should be run by my younger sister, who, depending on the day and time that you're asked, you can't remember if she's 12 years old or not.
Well, let's see. How about tell them, for one, that you have a magic orb that controls dragons and you want to bring them all back to take over the world? How about start with that?
Also, you're just a
I
cunt.
wonder if they'll follow you after that.
Yeah, what she said.
And I'm going to when Bobby Joe says that, I'm going to look at her and give her like that look. Like, I feel like we've hung out long enough together. We know like the nonverbal cues we give each other, and I'm going to give her that look like, shut the fuck up. Don't do that.
Okay. Bobby Joe, you got the look. How you choose to
The
take
look.
that in this moment, I will leave up to you. You're also
Well,
in
I would
chains.
cross my arms, but I can't. So
But I will say that as you call her a see you next Tuesday, the princess will lunge and grab your throat as she thrusts you back against the wall.
I'm gonna immediately yell, "Let go of her!"
No?
Just let her go.
And she'll retract the hand. See, the thing that I'm so frustrated by, but should have expected, honestly, this is on me. You all don't know when to shut up. You all can find yourselves in the middle of a grand epic story taking place, and that is what's happening. But you are not the heroes.
You're not either.
I don't claim to be writing a fairy tale. I'm living in the real world. I'm living in the world where I had to take everything that was deserved to me. Because what sort of what sort of elf would I be to allow the kingdom to fall to either of my younger sisters? One who's too childish to even act half of her age. Or one so impetuous that despite her own royal blood, she would rather die a warrior's death. Not even in a war.
Okay.
Which I will admit is a bit odd to me. How did that vote go with you all?
What vote?
The vote to kill my sister. I assume this is something you talked about.
now I'm confused.
It was, and you're gonna see like I look confused on my face too, but I do remember that Seymour did say that we killed her.
I'm gonna allow the timeout here from Taz. You got a question, a hand up?
So, if I can give the flashback of the scene slightly. When we were all sitting around, we said our plan was to get the princess as a collective to the Feywild so she's off of this plane of existence to protect her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that we would tell the queen she was dead so that we could curry favor with her.
Sure.
But we never said we killed her, right?
But Seymour did say
that is
we
what the
killed her.
party agreed to do as the plan.
So over
So,
the table,
as-
over the table, we're pretending to kill her, when in reality he really killed her, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that flashback, Taz. That does set up the nesting doll.
that
I
allows-
remember
situation
that.
well.
I remember that he said that we killed her, but I also,
Sure.
I realize that makes us look like gigantic pieces of shit. Also, so
Yeah.
I think my thinking in my head was that we wouldn't necessarily say that we killed her. We would say that she died as a result of her injuries or whatever was going on.
That's what I was wondering.
And the attempt. So that is my confusion as a character.
I
But-
will say, as the DM, I did go back and watch this section of things. The exact words Seymour said in the dining hall were, "She is dead."
So he didn't say that we killed her. That's what I thought. That's why
I thought
was
he
like,
said we
wait a
killed her.
minute. I don't think he did.
Okay.
He is dead. I
That is my
verified it with my
confusion.
own eyes.
Yep. So, but she is, asking, so how did the vote go? Surely the big one couldn't have stood for that.
You think we murdered her?
Oh, I know
We
you
didn't
did.
murder her. She died from her injuries. Like, she just died. We wouldn't murder
You'll see
Princess.
as she looks back at her advisor. And almost imperceptibly, he'll shake his head.
Right, who's the advisor? Is this the advisor that was the douchebag that was necrotic king?
Yeah.
The one that
Too,
kicked
right?
everybody's
Yeah.
ass.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fuck
So-
that guy, dude. All right.
I'm gonna see him like shake his head, but I'm like, okay.
What's his name? He's
And
got to have it.
I'm gonna say to her, just okay. We let you talk about your family. You have the worst family drama I've ever heard in my life. I get it.
Harry
Okay.
Springer, where are you at?
I will say that as you're, as she turns back from looking at the advisor, who we won't go through the rigmarole of setting it up, but y'all would know his name is Lacarum, Lacerum.
Okay.
But as she turns
the
back from
parent?
him, she will backhand slap you across the face. Do you
Ouch.
want to try that again?
Try what again? We didn't kill her. I'm telling the truth. You want to
She's-
slap me again and hear me say the same thing?
She holds
That's
up a
fine.
finger. She's confused. Looks back again at Lacarum. You'll see him think for a moment. And also, puzzled, nods.
See, he nodded.
Can I? Is there some type of check I can do? Like, what is he doing?
Insight check.
Yeah. At advantage?
Not at advantage.
No, he's saying he's just making an insight check.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
He's
I don't
really
know
good
what
at
this to do.
insight.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Motherfucker. Yeah, forget about it.
Okay. What is it? What was it?
Dude, you know what's funny?
Well,
I think my insight is a +8. I don't think I've gotten over 12 throughout this whole campaign from insight
Rip.
checks.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a 10. I got a 10.
You think he's great at insight?
Dude. Fucking Lacaron over here is awesome.
actually, I hate to piggyback off of him, but can I make one as well? Because I think I would be kind of curious.
I
as
think
to,
as the one that's getting
What?
currently slapped around, that feels like a
Yeah.
fair check for you to make.
Hey,
mine's
like,
not
even
much
Bob
better.
Joe, if you want to roll one as well, I would say go ahead and go for
Heal.
it.
Given that
Yeah.
Desto made the comment about, see, he nodded his head, like he's obviously watching, like there's something going on. I will give him that. That's hilarious.
Mine's not much better. I got a 15. Actually, a 13.
I mean, it's
take that.
literally fucking 50% better.
Okay.
I
So
don't
we
know
got
what
a
you're talking
10,
about.
an 11, and a 13.
I'm still
Cool.
not happy with it.
So, yeah, I think all of you are like, she trusts him. He's got a beat on something, I guess, but I'm not
Like
sure.
he
exactly.
obviously has some kind of
Yeah,
insight type deal.
correct. And there's just like,
I feel like
she is silent for a moment as she's thinking things through and like taking.
While
a moment.
she's thinking,
Yeah, go
can I
for
say
it.
something? I just
Uh,
I'm like, okay, listen, like I said, I get it. You brought us back. We're not we don't have the most polite manners, I guess is the best way to say. Granted, we did just get slaughtered by your people. and then brought back to life. Why are we back to life? What do you want from us? Like,
How did she die?
why not keep us dead?
How did she die?
What?
You saw her dead, right?
I didn't. Why would we kill her if we needed her?
So you didn't see her.
I didn't.
She did not see her.
So he told you he saw her.
You mean
Who is
Seymour?
he?
Yeah, Seymour.
I'm sitting there contemplating what I'm going to say next for
Mhm.
probably about 3 seconds.
Yep.
And the only reason why is I know this guy has something.
Mm-hmm.
There's something he can do. He's going to know if I'm lying. I feel like I know enough to know that at this
So you
point.
have to be careful how to word.
He's going to know if I'm lying. I know if I'm lying, they're going to torture me. I mean, plain and simple. I have to make sure, from what I said before, that if I'm lying, I need to be the one to lie. Because Bobby Joe does not need to. And I don't want Sledge to either. But I'm just going to say, like, yes. Yes, he saw her dead and we buried her.
She'll at this point gesture for the advisor to come like stand even with her, and as he does so, you finish speaking, and he was like beginning to nod, and then right there at the end shakes his head. Okay, so you're not going to answer my questions. How about you? As she'll step to the side and stand in front of Bobby Joe. You've been, I would say, equally as talkative, but what do you know about my sister? Ratona, specifically. What is her status?
I have no idea. I genuinely have no fucking idea.
You'll see the Lacarum like shrugs. Okay. You
She
all
doesn't know
saw
anything.
her at some point. Shut up. You had your chance. You saw her at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Okay. I understand he's setting a very bad example, but do you want to follow his example?
I mean, I'm trying to answer your questions. I said I saw her at some point, so...
When did you last see her?
Before she died.
Who's on first?
I was married to a narcissist for 13 years. I'm really good at this. I'm sorry.
Sledge is gonna look at Bobby Joe. You were married for 13 years?
That's above the table.
Oh, yeah. She nods. Okay. And how did you leave her? What was the
I
circumstances?
mean, I left
of
her
your
in
life?
bed. And then I went to bed.
Okay. And then what happened?
She died while we were asleep.
So she just died in her sleep.
I mean, that's my understanding, because I was also asleep. So,
All right. So at this point, she is going to roll an insight check. And Kayla, this is something that Bobby Joe believes to be a lie. Am I incorrect in that assessment?
What I'm saying, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Bobby
Technically,
Joe
she
technically
remembers the letter.
thinks that she's gone. So I'm going to have you roll a deception check.
a deception check. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, please be good.
Come on.
It's a 9.
Okay. She beats that just off the dice. Okay. But as she like squints her eyes at you, you'll see Lacarum nod. And she'll look at him. You're sure? Because I think she's lying. You think you're lying, don't you?
I think I'm lying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what happened.
She doesn't know anything. Please.
Okay. Avaleria will hold a hand out, and one of the guards will grab a hammer from the the bench.
Oh, fuck.
Alright, that's a really shoddy hammer.
And she will swing it directly above your head as you hear the metal make impact with the brick above you, and you feel dust rain down on your head. I'm not talking to you right now.
She's not going to give you any answers that you need.
Okay. Fine. We've got one more. Dwarf, where is my sister?
I'm going to look at the hole in the wall. I'm going to look at the queen and the advisor. Like, all right, it looks like I figure he can knows if we're telling the truth or not. So believe me when I say, I truly think that is shoddy work, and a dwarven wall would have withstood that hammer blow.
I can't help but like chuckle a little bit, like on a change. Like
You see
Nice.
as her blood vessels pop out of her forehead. All right. So let me just restate the useful information we've gathered here, despite your best efforts. My sister is dead. That's a fact.
How do you know? Are you just taking our word for it?
He knows.
Who? Karen?
how does he know? I'm not trying to be an asshole. I really am curious.
It's an ability he has after years of training. He is always able to discern a lie.
Ooh, ask him a question for us.
Can I ask him a question?
Please.
We're all gonna get really annoyed.
Karen, do you think she's a good ruler and not crazy?
So your ability, or you're testing me of whether or not I can tell a lie by asking me a question.
Ah! He talks. Does anyone hear his voice? Yeah. You heard his
That's the
voice.
first time he's
There.
talked.
This is above the table. Testo, we've heard his voice now. We're keeping
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes,
To win.
we are keeping that.
We're keeping that.
So, my sister
And
is
the answer to
dead.
Karen.
You apparently don't know where she is or how she died. But Seymour does. I would assume, at least.
How do you know if Seymour did?
Why don't you just ask Seymour? I'm assuming you guys have him here
I
somewhere.
would if he were here. And I will be sure to ask
he's
him
not here.
when he
You're
is.
probably very angry about that. He's sneaky. I will say that. He's definitely pulled some shady shit on us before, right, Sledge?
Yeah.
As you say that he's pulled some shady shit on you before, she has a moment where a thought that was not there before you can see jump into her brain. She nods.
Where's Buck? The furry one. He's not here either, is he? Are you serious? No way.
Bro, she's got an ancient dragon and she can only get 3 out of 5. What a fucking loser.
I feel like we all.
All right. All right, calm down.
She will
Don't-
grab. She will grab the feathers at the top of your skull, pushing you back into the wall as she
I'm
gets
just.
right up in your face. And whispers.
I'm gonna start squawking like a bird.
Other hand grips your beak.
Oh no.
Perhaps they only cared about themselves, which is why the 3 of you are left here. And
I'm gonna look at
perhaps-
Karen while she says this.
And
Let's
perhaps,
see if he nods.
perhaps, this is not the last, or perhaps you are not aware of all the shady shit that Seymour has done. Food for thought, as she will release you and step out of the room, her 4 guards follow.
Once she releases me, I'm gonna kind of shake it off like it didn't bother me. But any of the other 2 that were paying attention can see that I did have kind of like a slight doubt there for a second at what she said. Just maybe, I'm not saying this out loud, but maybe she had a point there.
Speaking of food for thought, can we get some bread? Water?
I could really go for a cookie.
Look, Karam will take care of you from now on. And he'll be sure to let me know if you guys decide to say anything useful.
I'm hungry, Karen. That's the truth.
She will leave the room with the 4 guards. The gate will close behind them. You will see Lakaram stride over to one of the tables and, as all good mustache twirling type villains do, dramatically run his hand over the table and the implements on it.
When he's running his hand over, I'm just gonna say like, how long does he run his hand over the table? Is it like dramatically long?
Yeah, dramatically long for sure.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ, just fucking pick one. Do you have to do the whole suspense deal? We've been looking at them for the last 30 minutes. We know what they are.
So I'm actually not going to pick. You are.
I'm gonna mimic him. I'm actually not going to pick.
You choose
Okay,
between
that might have
3.
been a little.
He's shrugging and ignoring
It
you.
might have been a little out of line.
Physical, emotional, or spiritual.
Oh.
Through what manner do you choose your break?
Can I ask before, why Why are you still doing this? You know that we're not lying what we said.
You know she sucks too.
I know that you're not lying. Completely. You also think that you are. Which is confusing.
Oh, you're
And
good.
without more information, I'm unable to come to a conclusion. So, either I can get more information out of this. That's a secondary goal. The primary, you will feel every one of the blows that you struck against Her Majesty. And then there will be punitive punishment on top of that.
More than being chained up to a wall.
By the time I'm finished, the chains will be your only respite.
Joe passes out.
She does that.
And with that, we will cut from this scene.
Save us, Taz. We're in danger.
Don't let our jokes fool you. We're very scared.
Save us.
I love knowing that in the future, if I were to have like all 5 of you walk up to the hangman's gallows, it would just be turned into a Comedy Central roast.
Yes.
Like, you're just
100%.
all 5 overflowing with gallows humor.
That's how you deal with it.
If they're gonna die, they're going out
looks
swinging.
long enough. You need 2 of them, I think.
Uh-huh.
I was
Look over to Bobby Joe. First time, huh?
Yeah. I was trying to put it together. I don't think it would work though. When she had you by the beak and like pulling you back, I was gonna be like, all right, if you get a second one of them, you'll have a murder on your hands.
Wow, you're a loser.
I know. It was there. I just couldn't.
I mean, really, with our history, it's probably reasonable. We've probably been on a gallows before, Bobby Joe and I.
Yeah. Bobby Joe and you for sure. Which might make sense.
This is
of
my
why you were
defense
both,
mechanism, is to pass out.
Both of you were a bit mouthy.
So you're now possibing. You're now possibing.
Yeah, playing dead.
We will jump to Seymour as he skulks his way through the upper levels of the castle on his way to find Mayuri's room. You are able to find the hallway. Excuse me. You see 8 guards standing in the hallway, all with a vantage point towards guarding the door to Mayuri's room. And these are the elites.
Gotcha. So all the elites are standing outside of the door area. Like, I could probably still make my way in front of it, but they are all, like...
They're there.
At the ready.
Furthest one is maybe 20 feet from the door.
Okay. I'm going to read a quick thing on the spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go... I'm going to go right around the corner of the spot. I know where her room is. We've been in there before when we talked to her about Ratona and where to go and what to do. So I am familiar with it mentally.
Yes.
I will go, while still invisible, I am going to go around the corner, and I'm going to cast at 5th level Dimension Door to enter her room.
Okay. I assume you're trying to do this stealthily.
100%. I am trying to be that, like, even if I have to go beyond just the corner, like if I have to go like sneak into a broom closet
I see.
to do this,
Sure.
like I know it. I am within the range of 500 feet. I am familiar with
Yeah.
it, and I know what the situation looks like outside of the room.
Gotcha. Okay, so
And
you
I know
sneak
what it's like.
far enough away that you're not even playing around with whether or not you'll get caught. You got the range for it. Totally makes sense. Yeah, you cast Dimension Door. You poof into the room, and Mayuri is there by herself, playing with some dolls, at a incredibly ornate dollhouse, the type of a dollhouse that most children don't have. It's the kind where you're like, oh, you as an adult decided to continue playing with dolls. Love that you were able to do that.
You are a creepy level collector. Got it. There is a Bob's Burgers episode about this, and it is like a level of like, that's fucking strange. Got it. I assume that I'm going to be able to like poof in the room, and she's playing, so she doesn't see me at first.
I believe the language of Dimension Door doesn't have that level of stealth to it. Although you didn't break concentration on your invisibility, did you?
Invisibility breaks. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Okay, gotcha.
Invisibility is broken the moment I cast another spell, which is why I was very like peculiar about not being right in front as I do it.
Yeah,
But
I'll
now if we go
allow
to Dimension
like
Door-
a portal and like a whoosh sound, and we'll just roll a d20 to see if she notices you.
Did you ever see the movie like Jumper?
I did see Jumper. That
Yeah,
is some
I picture it like that, where it
mid-2000s
just,
grade
like,
schlock right there.
Materializes into that spot. Like that's kind of how I picture it.
Yeah.
As it's like it's just this small fabric rip, and I burst through real fast. But like, if I know what the room is, and I just put myself like in the center on the ground in my head, that's where I am.
All right. You pop in place. She does not notice you. I can't hear you at all.
I thought that was the point, because I thought he was doing this. I really thought that was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was super
That's-
immersive.
That's second level stealth right there.
Uh-huh.
So I jump in the room and materialize, and then I like kind of see that she hasn't noticed me. I like back up to like a nightstand next to the bed or something, and I make like a quick, quiet like 1, 2, 3 tap on the table.
You'll see
I'm,
her
like,
head
holding
whip
up-
around.
Okay.
Huh?
And then I look at her. Remember how we could talk in our minds together?
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Something
being
very
sneaky?
bad. We are. We're being the sneakiest.
Okay.
Something very bad happened. And I'm coming to take you up on your offer. I'm getting you out of this castle.
Okay. Where are we going?
So what I would like you to do, we are going to go try to save your sister. Because Avalaria is coming after her.
Well, Avalaria is also my sister.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Quickly and quietly, grab a bag and throw whatever you think might be essential in there.
Okay. And she'll like go get a bag. She'll throw like a couple of fun outfits in there. She throws the hats in from when they were playing previously. That Buck wanted to get into the
Buck
game
had.
on, and was drafted in with his own hat. She'll pack those hats. She packs a couple of her dolls. It's not quite an explorer's pack, but
No,
for
no,
what
I'm 100. Yeah,
for a manic pixie girl, it's about the best you can expect.
I was gonna say I picture it being like a Gucci overnight bag kind of thing,
Sure.
but it's like it's not Gucci. It's like Power Rangers or like whatever her like unicorn theme is that she liked. So it's like this colorful, playful, but a really nice designer bag.
Yeah.
And she just threw her favorite things in there, and I'm like, that's fine.
Yep.
I go, okay, we're gonna do two things together here. One, we're gonna turn invisible. And two, we're gonna fly on a magic broom. Are you ready?
This is exciting. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. And we go over to one of the windows that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn us invisible, and I grab her hand, push the doors to the window open. And then I grab her, and we both ride on a broom. Invisible. Out of town.
Okay. As you fly away, Brent/Buck, I'm gonna check back in with you. Were you intending to? Oh, go for it, AJ.
I want like me and Jimmy are just like down in the dungeon going, please save us, Seymour, save us, and then just like flash out there, he's flying away from us. It's just like, wow.
That is a great image. Love that we cut from that. Yeah, Buck, you wanted to take some rest. Are you intending to take a full long rest, or are you taking a short rest? What was your intention?
I would love to take a long rest, DM, because
Okay.
I don't feel so good.
Okay.
That's what I told Zane, like, hey, I gotta get right. So, if it looks like he's about to dip, I'm gonna like tell him like, no, we gotta.
To be fair,
I gotta.
you were asleep,
Okay, cool.
right?
I mean, if he left, I feel like that I would have woken up, because you know how deep asleep. Or,
Bro.
no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm asleep. If he leaves, then he leaves.
I feel like you're in a deep sleep, man. I feel like all that necrotic
I fucking
stank
crash
on
out.
you.
Hold on.
You
We'll
did
give
say-
a chance.
Tyler's just a big fat meanie.
In your defense, you did say
So-
he went to a different part of the clearing than him. He
I
like,
went to the-
walked
yeah.
away.
I went to the no, yeah.
He
Zane
walked away. He walked away.
Walked away to the other side of the clearing. I like. So,
What
He
is
very
your
well could
passive perception?
15.
Okay. On an 11, after an hour, you are stirred from your sleep as you
Ugh.
see blurrily Zane walking towards this, walking out of the clearing, wings slowly beating as though he were about to take off towards the city.
No, Zane, no, come back, please, come back. Stop, hold on.
How much
Oh,
longer do you want me to wait, Buck?
Jesus Christ, who doesn't exist in Ammolia? Look, if you have a way of making me like back to what I was, then please share it. I am going to need at least 6 hours.
Buck? Tensions are high right now? Or, excuse me. No. He's like, I'm sorry for how harsh this is going to sound. But when you were healthy, you didn't help enough the first time.
All right.
And my mom might be dead.
All right. Listen here, buddy. I did the fucking best that I could. And by God, I fucking failed. I'm a fucking loser who can't save his fucking friends when they are hurt, okay? How the fuck do you think I feel? You're hurting now, I was there. And I couldn't do shit. So will you please give me a fucking chance to sleep and possibly get back to where I was so that if I'm going to die, then at the very least I can die swinging. Or if you're just gonna fuck off and go die too.
I'm going to have you roll a persuasion check. Given the 0 that you rolled earlier, I am going to have you roll this with disadvantage.
If you'd let me roll using my intelligence mod, because I am using logic.
Does okay, sure, yeah. This is a logical situation with all
Not
level
my
heads
mind.
involved.
That's cocked. Not that it matters. 6.
You will see
dear.
as Zane, like, you see the physical reaction of someone who is uncomfortable with their own anger. He is not one for deception, is not one that emotions are hard to read. He's basically a teenager dragon. He knows that his anger is misplaced, but he doesn't know what to do with it. Buck, I'm sorry you saw that. I know that we're both upset right now. That's my fucking mom, dude.
Ah. And if it wasn't your mother, then I wouldn't be fighting as hard as I am. If you have anger and if you need to place it somewhere, place it on me.
You've got enough.
No,
If
I
you
mean
need- If you need
physically.
to sleep, you need to sleep. I have to do what I gotta do.
If you go, it won't end well. For her or you.
Can you tell me anything about where she was?
She was in the dining room. We were in the dining room. We were meeting with the princess in the thing. There was a balcony. Great big silver dragon attacked, and he was able to get in from bottom of the castle. That is all I can tell you. I don't know where she is now. She could be anywhere else in the castle. She could be gone from the castle. Which is why, because I don't know where she is, and you sure as shit don't know where she is, we cannot go now. If you have to go, I can't help you. I'm sorry, I can't.
You don't have any potions or anything?
Look, dude, I've got jack shit in here, okay? The closest thing that I have is this really scary book as I pull it out like that. Like, and I shove it back into the bag, and it's like, I've got the scary book, and I've got some rope, and a scroll of to make a sneaky cloud, and I've got an immovable rod, and a couple of cherry bombs, and a smoke flare. Like, I got nothing, okay? Here's a decanter of endless water. That is the best that I've got. Because I gave all of my shit to our friends.
You're probably right. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm sorry, Buck.
Then fucking go die, okay? Just fucking leave. If that's what you fucking have to do. God damn it. I'm fucking tired of not being able to do anything. Go if you have to. Put your own death on my conscience. I can't do anything fucking else. I'll take off my cloak of protection. I'll throw it at him. I'll throw my ring at him as well. I'll throw my shield at him too. And then the belt of Hill Giant Strength. Take these if you're going to go. Hopefully they'll do better for you than I ever could.
There will be a moment as you strip yourself of every magic item and every weapon and every piece of armor you've acquired over this journey, tossing it at his feet. He recognizes the turmoil that you are feeling in order to have this gesture and this reaction, this outburst. But I think his teenager brain cannot help himself from recognizing one thing. I'm really sorry, Buck, but I can't wear any of that. So that's not going to be super helpful.
Then what the fuck else do you want me to do? Here, let me help you, and I will do my very best. I'll climb on top of him, and I will fucking muscle that cloak around him. I will take the ring and I'll start jabbing it over one of his claws, or on his tail, or on his
As
horn.
you start
something.
jabbing the ring, he will shake you off, tossing you into the grass, and pat away.
I'll look up. Where's he gone?
You see as he begins to take flight.
Go then. Go fucking die.
And on this incredibly dour note,
May the blessings of God go with you.
our session will come to a close.
Fuck you, Tyler.